Hello kids out there in YouTube land. Once again, like I'm popular, people listen to me. Um, I said in the last video we're gonna have a couple videos on this sort of uncomfortable subject of non-binary / trans people. So this is gonna be the second video in the series of, I guess, probably 3, unless somebody decides to want to actually open some debate or discussion in which we can make more videos talking about what each other have to think, which I think would be great. But here goes. This one is very simply just questions that cis hetero people have for non-binary folks. So I'm going to talk to this. When I talk to my friends and other such people, there's a lot of issues that come up. There's a lot of questions that come up. I know we've heard these issues and seen these issues before, but I'm just going to ask a few questions, and they're written down. So excuse me for being for not having great production value on this one in straight reading it off the screen, but just want to discuss it real quick. So, and again, this isn't meant to be snarky or smarmy or sarcastic or ad hominem or be an attack on anybody. I just, for me, like, if you can't tell by now, I did a lot of actual debate team stuff in high school and college, and I like to engage in factual discussions, reason-based, logic-based discussions, and things that you can support. And I know this is an emotional issue, and I won't discount that because, of course, it is an emotional issue. But I like to think of things in general in practical terms. So that's where some of these questions come from. And some of them are just questions that it seems that, like I say, friends, family members, associates, and people on the interwebs seem to have. So feel free to answer or not answer these questions either in type or video format. But these are questions that people have for, the non-binary folks out there. In no particular order, and I have a lot more questions in this, but geez, I mean, we'll just limit it to, I don't know, there's about maybe 12, 15 questions on here that I'll actually ask on this video. So here we go. First question, how many genders are there, really? I've heard lots of different people offer lots of different contentions or assertions on this, and I just want to really know, like, seriously, like, how many. Currently science would say there's 2, and a lot of people would argue that people who are gender fluid or something like that, or even trans, are trans people will be of one gender transitioning to another gender. Other people may have traits that exist in both genders, so they consider themselves gender fluid or some other such thing. And then yet others would contend that science is incorrect on this, and then that's another question. So please, I'm not joking, I'm not trying to be sarcastic, like, how many genders do you think there are? I've heard, I think it's 76 or something like that as an argument, and I've read that. I won't offer my opinion on that right now, so I'm going to the second question. If we think there are more than 2 genders, should current science be reconstructed to include these, I was going to say new, but to include these other genders? So what that means basically is, are you of the opinion that the textbooks should be rewritten? Science should be, and biology in particular, as of that, specific science that relates to the human body, that accepted science should be rewritten to include the new definitions of gender and the new actual genders that ostensibly exist. All right. In relation to that, do you feel that current biological science is inaccurate or invalid or biased in some way? I shouldn't have to explain that too much. It's related to the previous couple of questions. It seems that some people literally think that a doctor assigning a sex or a gender to a child at birth is illegitimate, ill-conceived, biased, sexist in some way. I've heard all those things. So, what's your opinion on that? Are we just talking about people who are of an extreme minority who have these opinions, or is this a widespread way of thinking? I'm asking because I don't know. Next, and this is not meant to be sarcastic at all. I'm just asking this question: should we put a limit on the amount of genders or the amount of pronouns used to describe those genders? And if so, what should be that limit? Because right now, like I say, conventional wisdom, for lack of a better term, conventional science would say we have 2 genders. So if we increase that to 76, it's a lot more. It's a lot more. Excuse me for 1 second. Next. Does anybody besides us, simple cis hetero folks get confused by the litany of terms and terminology in use, these pronouns and the gender definition? Do any of you guys actually get confused by this? Because I think we do, so maybe we need a little bit more explanation. And I don't mean that to be sarcastic. I just mean like if you have like 70-something terms to describe and we're supposed to memorize them all, it can be a little confusing because they seem to kind of intermingle and things like that. Do you feel that gender-related pronouns should be officially added to the English language? Again, right now we have 2. So should we have 78? Or a total of 76? And again, I don't mean to be sarcastic. I'm just asking you. It seems like to me that it would kind of confuse the English language and make things kind of difficult. But let me know. And again, another question I would have for that is, do you not feel that attaching extra labels and attaching extra words to people's identities is confusing and perhaps dividing and separatist instead of wanting to unite people? Because I generally, seems like most liberals want to, say that they don't attach labels, and yet we want all these extra words. Let me know. And given that the usage of he, she pronouns is currently not illegal, as far as I know. Like if you accidentally call somebody he, that's a she, or a she, that's a he. I don't believe that's illegal. If you are misgendered verbally, should that be illegal? So that means that should we add these pronouns to the lexicon of the English language, and then if they are not correctly used, as defined by you, should that be illegal? And then the next question to that is, if so, what should the punishment be? And if you answered yes to the above questions, do you not feel that that is the limitation of our free speech? Again, it's an actual question. I'm not trying to bait anybody. The next 3 questions, I feel I already know the answer to this. I hope I already know the answer to this, but do you feel that all cis people and all hetero people are transphobic and homophobic? I hope not. I hope not. But I see lots of videos that would give me evidence to the contrary. Again, I hope that these ignorant people who are just making sensationalist videos to get views for their channels are not representative of you as an intelligent person, but please let me know. Do we feel that non-binary and trans people in America have full rights? So sorry I got cut off there a little bit. Just have a couple more questions. And those would be, so the last one is, do you feel that non-binary and trans folks have full equal rights in America? I'm not talking about the rest of the world because I can't speak for the rest of the world, but in America. And the next question would be, what specific laws should be passed or repealed to help trans and non-binary folks achieve full equal status in this country? And then on to the next subject, which is just that silly bathroom subject, which is kind of important because, I mean, everybody needs to go to the bathroom, right? But I would say, should gender-neutral bathrooms be mandatory? And then if yes or no, like how about in elementary and secondary schools? And should we teach our children about these issues before the age of, I don't know, 18, or at least before they get into high school? Should we? No, I'll leave it at that because I don't want to seem ignorant or stupid. So, and then I guess the last question I have is, because I hear this a lot with people. I posted a video about transgenders, whom, if the actual term, if you actually are a transgender, I probably don't like you. So But it's a wide definition. It's a nebulous definition. So, but is gender dysphobia relative, incremental, or absolute? Again, not being a clinical psychologist, it's tough for me to define these terms, but it seems that actual gender dysphoria is a very severe thing that doesn't really dissipate until it's fully alleviated by hormones and surgery and actual transition. But I don't know. Are there different types of dysphobiia? Are there different levels of dysphobiia? Yeah. Let me know. Anyway, I hope to combine this into one video, but it might end up being 2 videos. Anyway, please feel free to comment. Doesn't have to be a nice comment even, or make a video to get back to me. I'm trying to educate myself on this. I'm trying to educate others on this. So the more we talk about it, the more we discuss it, the more knowledge we'll have, and the better off we'll all be.